Hello there, Virgo. Thank you for stopping by for your video forecast of the week for the week of December 8th through the 15th. What I'm using today is the Russian Tarot of St. Petersburg. And so, Virgo, on Monday, what we have showing up for you is the Nine of Swords. Now, this is just telling me that you have some kind of situation in your life that you're sort of obsessing about. It's hard for you to not think about it. And you're very worried about, what could happen in this situation. And it's probably even to the point that you're losing sleep in most of you guys' cases over this whole thing, whatever it is that's on your mind so strongly on Monday. Now, Tuesday, what we have is we have the Ace of Swords coming up for you, and this to me feels like some kind of relief for what's going on Monday. The Ace of Swords talks about a new epiphany, a new way of looking at things, a whole new perspective that just gives you a new lease on life, really. This is a big deal when this comes in. And so for many of us, we receive these meditating. Sometimes they just kind of come to us. Somebody will say something and it just kind of smacks us in the face. Oh my gosh, wow, what was I thinking before? But for whatever reason, on Tuesday, I do see you getting that new epiphany, and I see that that is really going to be helping you to process and deal with whatever that situation is on Monday that has you so obsessed to the point that you're even probably losing some sleep. Now, Wednesday, Knight of Swords in reverse for you, Virgo, and for me, I'm seeing this as somebody coming into your lives. I don't see this as being really you for hardly any of you at all, really. So, what this is really talking about, excuse me a second, the Knight of Swords, when it comes in reverse, is talking about a personality coming into your life on Wednesday who is very well-intentioned, has very strong beliefs, and will stand by them. However, sometimes does still make rash decisions. He doesn't quite have as much experience as some other people, and so he still kind of goes off half-cocked, as they would say where I grew up. And so he can come in and kind of make some decisions that are not the best. And so on Wednesday, what's going on is he's decided that it's time to take action on a certain situation, only he's being a little bit misguided on this situation. And so he's taking some action that it would probably be better if he didn't. The general advice that I give to people when I see this card coming up is that when you see this personality walking into your life on Wednesday, try to stay as far away as possible so that you don't get drawn into whatever mischief he's stirring up by really not even intentionally, just by trying to stand up for values and not realizing what he's really stirring up. Okay, so Thursday, we're going to move on. Thursday, we have the Three of Swords in reverse. This is a great card to get in reverse. This card talks about the fact that there was a situation in your life where you received some kind of trauma or injury to your heart. And when I say trauma or injury, I'm not so much talking about physical as I'm talking about some kind of emotional trauma or injury. And so when this card comes up reverse, what that's telling me is that that situation is being alleviated. Today, you're doing some healing over that old injury to your heart or that heart wound. Okay? Now, let's see. The next day we have is Friday. Friday, we have the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man just tells me, and this is the Hanged Man in reverse, actually. So this is telling me that we have a situation, or you have a situation, Virgos, on Friday, where you kind of were at a stalemate before. You really didn't know exactly how to proceed without having some repercussions that you were not going to be happy with. And so on Friday, something happens. You have this whole new way of looking at things that helps you see a way to handle the situation that won't have the negative consequences for anybody around that you were worried about before. So that's a really nice card. Now on Saturday, we have another really great card. We have the Star coming up for you guys. So Virgos, on Saturday, this just means that you're going to be feeling very in touch, which means very in touch with Sacred Spirit, very well grounded in reality, very much aware of what the reality is, but also knowing that there's something bigger than you out there, and it's important to know what that something bigger has to say about your reality right now. And I also feel like your chakras, your spiritual power centers, are lined up and working well at peak optimum operations. And so how this really manifests whenever we're spiritually in tune like this and well grounded and operating at peak, what this means is that we have a really good idea of where we want to go with our lives, what we want to do with our lives before we die. And this helps really bring some clarity into every situation that we come across, because we're looking at it through that lens of how does this affect my life purpose? How does this affect what I want to do? Is this a distraction? Is this going to aid me in moving forward? Do I have things to learn from this situation? And so it helps us to make decisions much more easily than what we would have been able to before about different situations that come up in our lives. Doesn't mean that we're having an easy life. Just means that we're having an easy time deciding what we want and what we don't want and how we want it. Okay? So then on Sunday, we have the Death card, which is not nearly as scary as it seems. The Death card really is just talking about transition, transformation, huge changes from the inside out. So we're talking about changing in beliefs, changing in the very core values that were implanted in you when you were a child. So when we see the Death card, we see these kind of huge changes go on. And once these kind of changes have been made, those core value changes, that changes everything about how you see yourself in the universe, how you participate in the universe. And so it changes your perspective and it changes your actions. It really brings you up to a whole new level that you weren't at before. So Virgo, that is your week. For those of you who would like to schedule a private session with me, please feel free to check out my website, amista.info. That's amista.info, I-N-F-O. Once you've done that, kind of get to know me a little bit, make sure I'm the right reader for you. After that, go ahead and contact me. Once you do that, we will set up a reading for you as soon as possible. For the rest of you, I will see you next week. Everybody have a good week. Peace out, Virgo.